Guys, Asher coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video. Guys, I'm happy to have you all here today joining me to talk about some old school clan boss, some Demon Lord clan boss. It's been a while since I've done a video like this. Initially, I was going to do like a top 15 or top 10 damage dealers, just raw damage dealers against the clan boss. And then I thought to myself, you know what? It's going to be 9 out of 10 legendaries, basically, right? I wanted to kind of get some diversity because there's some amazing rare and epic damage dealers that can really stand very close to some of those legendaries. Quick disclaimer, too, with Clan Boss, I mean, this should be obvious to you guys, but there are no top 5, top 10, top 20, top whatever damage dealers because it depends on your team. It depends on what you're looking for. Maybe an unkillable team or a block damage team or just a straight up, you know, infinity shield team. I mean, whatever you have, a poison team, right? It's going to be a lot different. If you're limited to 50 turns, well, you're gonna really want that strong raw damage. You might kind of err on the side of other champions that we talk about if you have a longer battle, like a really strong, robust defensive team or a counterattack team. Also, some of these champions bring debuffs to the table, which you might not have on your other champions, like Turvold with Weaken, for example, that could be extremely valuable to you and thus improving the overall damage that you do. Okay, enough about that. Enough disclaimer. Let's go ahead and jump to it here, guys. Let's start with the obvious rare. The obvious rare, guys, and that is Frozen Banshee. As I don't call her. One of the best expansion rares ever added to the game, in my opinion. She has a 100% chance of placing a poison. Big poison for 2 turns, as long as they're under poison sensitivity, which she has on her A3 ability. The first champion ever to be added to the game with poison sensitivity was Frozen Banshee, a rare champion. They don't make them like her anymore, guys. She does have a turn meter fill here on the A2. Some people don't even use it on Clan Boss, but she's a very kind of simple champion, but very, very effective poison damage dealer. Speaking of poison damage dealers, guys, of course, the old school starter, Kale. Kale, what's up, man? How you doing? I won't be doing another guide on Kale until maybe the second day of the year. I find, little inside baseball here, guys, I find that doing a Best Kale Guide 2023 at the first day of the year always ends up being my best performing video on the channel, so by golly, I'm going to do it again. Apologies to all you veteran, more seasoned people who are like, wow, an updated 2023 Kale Guide? Really, dude? We got the Poison Weak version on the A1. We got Turn Meter Fill on the A2. And then we have this one. This is his monster ability as it pertains to Clan Boss. 4 times that random, 50% chance of placing the big version of Poison for 2 turns. This is on a 4-turn cooldown. And the cool thing about this ability, of this kit for Clan Boss, is you can actually shut off his A2 ability and he'll be landing poisons on every hit, right? I would advise you guys to do that when you're using him with the the auto tools or whatever against the Clan Boss. Auto tools? What am I talking about? All right, here we go. Next up is going to be, I have to include him, guys, because he is the #1 DPS inside the entire game for Clan Boss when he's on the Infinity Shield team, when he's paired with Under Priest Brogni. So if you use Brogni, a buff extender, and Corpulent Cadaver, you're going to be getting this massive shield, and the damage on his A1 crushing mass is equal to 30% of the value of the shield that he is under. So, of course, Under Priest Brogni has this very cool grow shield ability. What you want to do is just turn off the A2 and the A3 of Corpulent Cadaver and use Brogni to just keep hammering away with the A1 and increase the value of shield buffs on all allies. Now, of course, it is predicated on having, Under Priest Brogni. Otherwise, he's not the best champion out there. But, I felt like he deserved to be on the list. Next up is just the best rare in the game, and she's basically going to be on top 5 rares.
I'm just like, what you looking at?
And it's Coulthart. She's Void Affinity. She's got the poisons, the decreased accuracy on the A1. She has heal reduction, which lets her land her poisons on the A2. And then she has still a hard-hitting Heartseeker ability on the A3. And then the last rare that I'm going to put on the list, guys, is actually going to be Bulwark. Where is he? Right in front of my face? There he is. Bulwark is an underrated little dwarf, man. He's got, on his A1, he's got the Weaken. And again, the weak version of Weaken, even at a 30% land rate, right, is not bad to have because each hit has that independent 30% chance of landing it. And if you don't have Weaken already on your team, that debuff, it can be hard to find, especially in the early game. You've got at least a chance at it with his A1, which is nice to have. He also has 100% HP burn. It's only single target, but he's defensive base for a rare. That's a lot of defense. He's easy to keep alive, and those burns really add up. And then what's more is his punishing defense. His passive. One attack has a 30% chance of extending the duration of all debuffs on the attacker by 1 turn. That means all those poisons, all those weakens, all those decreased defenses, all those HP burns are going to be extended. That's a very, very powerful ability. It's a powerful champion, very underrated out there, or maybe appropriately rated if you're a big fan of him. But man, I don't hear people talk about him enough as one of the better, really, clan boss champions out there in the game. All right, next up is going to be, let's go to epics here, guys, and let's go to... I mean, this dude might be the best damage dealer out of all epics in the game. He's certainly the best poison damage dealer. I think Calvalax and him are like right up there, and that's crazy because Calvalax is one of the best poison damage dealers in the game. But for Clan Boss, we have a poison on the A1. On the A2, you don't even have to worry about it so much. It's just passive, right? Places a weak version of poison on this champion for 4 turns at the start of each turn. Who cares? Has a 70% chance of placing a poison debuff on a random enemy for 4 turns at the start of each turn. That's insane. There you go. Enough said. That's a lot of poisons. He can deal just an insane amount of damage. He is a beast of a champion. Geomancer. Geomancer on an unkillable team, not a block damage team, is still a monster, one of the best clan boss damage dealers for epic champions in the game. Why do I say that? Because we want to take full advantage of this passive and that reflect damage. If we're using the block damage, we're not going to be taking any damage, right? We don't want that. We want to be taking the damage. That's why unkillable teams with Geo as a DPS is one of the strongest combinations you can have in the game. You want him, what I like to do is just turn off that A2 ability and just put him in a reflex set and just keep hammering away here with the HP burns. Make sure you have that basically up as often as humanly possible, and you should be able to keep it up pretty much, especially if you do turn off the A2. Just really, really, really good. Great champion, great damage dealer, but again, don't put him on a block damage team. You're really going to be missing out on a ton of damage overall from that passive. Next up, guys, is going to be none other than Anax. Anax is a champion. I've been talking about doing a guide on this dude for a long time.
Well, actions speak louder than words.
He is a boss. Got hard-hitting attacks all around, right? His base attack 1542 with good multipliers. He's got the, the duo, the combo. 2-time hitter with a decreased defense, right? 35% chance, but it's on each hit again on the A1. On the A2, he's bringing decreased accuracy and a poison for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. And then he has Weaken, the big version, on a 3-turn cooldown. So an amazing, amazing debuffer and damage dealer for Clan Boss. What a great champion. All right, next up is going to be Dark Kale. Dark Kale, who is a secret room normal champion for Doom Tower. This dude has instant activations of poisons and or HP burns on his A1. That is money. He's also bringing decreased attack on a 3-turn cooldown. He's also increasing the duration of all debuffs on the target with that same ability. And he's throwing out 3 poisons and a poison sensitivity on a 3-turn freaking cooldown. Not only that, but he's mitigating the crit rate of the clan boss is only 15%. And as long as they're under 2 or more poisons, the clan boss is not going to be able to land critical hits anymore. Dark Kale is a legendary champion, really, truly, especially for clan boss. All right, last but not least, guys, is going to be Fane.
Don't be creepy.
2-time hitter. Each hit has a 30, making a 50% chance of stealing 5% of the target's turn meter. Not effective, obviously, against the clan boss, but this certainly is. 3-turn cooldown with 2 poisons and a decreased attack, okay? But it gets better. She's also bringing a 3-time hitter. First hit, decreased defense, big version. Second hit, weaken, big version. Now, it doesn't matter that it's on a 4-turn cooldown because these are 3-turn debuffs. The third hit heals his champ by 4% of their max HP for every debuff on the target. The only downside to Fane is that she's a little squishy. She's a lot of squishy. 13k and 727. So she performs best on an unkillable or block damage team, unless you really have a lot, like a nice reviver and a lot of support surrounding her. We're getting into legendaries, guys. By the way, there's a lot of epics that are amazing. Taragi the Frog, Aox to Remember. Like, there's a lot of great champions out there that I couldn't include them all, right? Venomage, right? So shout out to all those champions. Those are my 5 favorites. But as I said, this is an impossible thing to do. Depends on what you need. I do want to start out with a shout out to Holstring. Dude, I did a guide on this dude, and he impressed the hell out of me. He's not a very good champion in a vacuum, but he can dish out some serious, serious damage against the clan boss. You know, I'll just give him to you as a bonus. He was like number 6 on my little cheat sheet, but boy, he's a really good, sneaky good clan boss champion. But while we're here, number 5 on my little cheat sheet was Cupidus, right? A lot of damage from the A1, a lot of damage from the A2 with HP burn, and then he's bringing the increased attack to himself, and he's got HP burn if he kills an enemy, which is irrelevant. Sorry, forgot that he has a burn anyway on his A2, and they gave him better multipliers than he used to have, right? So just an incredibly hard hitting ability on Flameout. Overall, just an incredible champion. I'm a big Cupidus fan. Next up is going to be none other than Jin Toro. Where are you, my man? Right over there. Jin Toro, dude. He could be the top dog. He really could, guys. Extra turn that kills an enemy, not relevant for clan boss. He's got attack 1 enemy, decrease the cooldown of Oni's Rage, which is A3, if the target is immune to turn meter reduction effects. Now we're talking on a 3-turn cooldown. Obviously, clan boss is immune to turn meter reduction effects. Oni's Rage, 3-turn cooldown plus the reduction from the A2. It has a decreased defense and a weaken, so he's bringing both of the big debuffs on a 3-turn cooldown, so your main debuffer on your squad and your main DPS. 5 times instead of 1 on the 4th use of this skill against the same target in 1 round. Clan boss battle is only 1 round, so every 4th time he uses this skill, so combined with this blood freeze, and if you put him in relentless gear, he's just like a freaking maniac, a machine, right? Also, all turn meter effects are increased by 50% when used on this champion. Nice little vigorous passive to have there as well, right, guys? Jin Toro is a monster when it comes to clan boss damage, attacking all battles by 29% on the passive as well. Now, we mentioned him earlier, guys, but it's my man Turbold, right? He's got, as we said, the big version of Weaken at a 75% land rate. Very solid there on the A1. He has self buffs, increased attack, increased crit rate, increased speed, extra turn there as well on that ability. And then Judgment, there's a very hard hitting ability on a 3-turn cooldown, and the damage increases according to the number of buffs on this champion. Notably great with champions like, I don't know, Valkyrie, Battle Khazar, champions who could throw a lot of buffs and really just help maximize his damage. Juggernaut is a very hard hitting ability. Turvold is definitely one of the hardest hitters for clan boss out there inside the entire game. All right, next up is going to be Ninja.
Falling in love with someone you can never be with.
I had Ninja number 1 on my cheat sheet. I just think Ninja's a just incredible champion, right? Decreased defense on his A1. Filling turn meter as A1. The HP burn with the instant activation on the A2. Hail burn is just insanely good. And then we have, when used against a boss, it's ignoring 50% of the target's defense. Also decrease the cooldown of Hail burn by 1 turn. So you're getting even more turns reduced off of that 3-turn cooldown on this incredibly hard-hitting ability. Ninja is just a beast. What's more is he has the escalation passive. Increases attack by 10 up to 100%. Crit damage up to 25% each time a single enemy is hit by all 3 of his attacks in a single round. This effect can occur multiple times against the same enemy. When fighting against bosses, it will go up to 100 and up to 25 instead. Man, great champion. Just Ninja's an absolute stud of a champion. And then this was a tough one. This last spot, I kind of, I'm gonna be cheesy and I'm gonna put a tie in here, right? This is a guy that not a lot of people really talk about anymore, and he's not a dark elf, Ash. He's a skinwalker, and is none other than Brachus, the Shifter, right? He's a very hard-hitting champion, and he deserves to be mentioned, in my opinion, on this list. He's got a freaking 6-time hitter. 6-time hitter with a big version of Weaken on 3-turn cooldown. Amazing champion for Giant Slayer. Even normally Giant Slayer, we're looking at, 3 or more hits on the A1. But when they got a 6-time hitter, you can get some serious damage there with Full Moon Rampage. On the A3, hard-hitting ability with increased attack on all allies, then attacks an enemy 3 times, okay? Has True Fear and stuff like that. Doesn't matter for Clan Boss, but overall, what a great champion in terms of raw damage dealer out there, Brachus the Shifter. The last guy I was going to talk about, guys, is just an absolute beast. None other than Dracomorph, right? I mean, Draco's bringing a hard-hitting A1. He's bringing 4 poisons on his A2, 3-turn cooldown, and he can be your debuffer with weaken and decreased defense. There you go, guys. I probably cheated and included like almost 20 champions on the list, but those are my favorite clan boss damage dealers. Who did I snub? Who did I leave off the list? Correct me where I'm wrong. I can always count on you guys for that, can't I? Thank you for watching until the end of the video. I appreciate you guys, and as always, take care, guys.